Hi, and welcome to another episode of Dungeons and Degrees. My name's Adrian,
And I'm Alex.
and today we are with Jeph of Big Campaign Pod. Jeph, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Hi, everybody.
Why did you go to New York?
I don't know, man.
Jeff's
I
not
just
from
was
New York.
feeling it, okay?
That's fair. I mean, you know what? Go. You do you. Who am I to judge?
You just yucking my yum, my intro yum.
It was strange. It was a strange. How you doing?
Listen, this is just who we are, though, right? Like, we're not like sane people. We live in the world, you know. Like that's just how it is.
You're right.
We play pretend. We play pretend, guys, because the world, the reality sucks.
It's great. It's going well. Thanks for coming, Jeph.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a nice take a break from the world.
It is.
See. And sometimes we put a little funny voice, okay? Sometimes we make a little goblin voice, a little New York goblin. I don't know, man. Just
You go too deep. I'm
yes.
gonna have you do the New York Goblin voice then.
I do
need the backstory.
I do have one, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the big campaign, okay?
That's fair.
How did you start your podcast? What made you decide, hey, I want to make more work with my fun?
Yeah, those classic moments you're sitting around with some buddies after playing a game. You've had a few beers and you're like, would anybody want to do this? And a few of my friends said, that sounds like a blast. And then my players kind of took it from there of, hey, what if we do it? But we're all repo man. We all work for this guy. And they all point towards one of the other players. And poor John was like, I don't want to be your boss in make-believe. And they're like, too late. There's already a podcast idea. You're already the boss. Jeph, you DM it. We're ready to go.
Dang. Just immediately throwing someone
Yeah.
into the role of authority. Hey, you got to take care of it. We voted. This was democratically decided. That's awesome.
But yeah, we've all been playing together for a long time, so it was natural for a lot of my friends to want to hear recorded sessions anyways. So figured why not take that step and share goofy stories with people.
Yeah. Well, I like the benefit of having a record of what you're doing, because like there's some times where sometimes we have that scheduling issue and we take a lot of breaks and you're just like, all right, let me just get a refresher and just kind of rewatch and re-listen, and maybe I can pick up something I didn't, or just kind of get ready for the next session. I've had that happen with my recording stuff, so like I see the benefit in that. But I also know, because I don't edit any of it, it's a lot of work because I edit this podcast. Who does the brunt of that?
I do the editing for it. And actually, funny enough, I've really taken a shine to it. I really enjoy editing. There's something very neat about putting together an audio puzzle and kind of like hanging out with your friends when you can't hang out with them, right? Because you get to hear all their voices and catch all the things that kind of get missed. It also does make you bizarrely aware of how many weird mouth noises everybody makes all the time that we just brain filter out.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. I laugh because I was just listening to myself and I was like, I don't end my words. My words just trail off. And I hate it.
Yeah, I
so
tried
much.
my best to fix that, but it is what it is.
I do my best.
Definitely had that confusing moment of like, how does my wife listen to me talk all the time? I make all these stupid noises, and she's never said anything. That's crazy.
Yeah, and since I have like the ability to see a bunch of different people, like, this is gonna be easy, and then there's some people who, like Alex, start to trail their words downwards in intensity, and I'm like, all right, gotta bump that up, gotta bump that up, gotta bump that up. I'm just like, ugh. But I also find myself laughing at the same jokes that I make usually.
Whoever this guy is hilarious.
This guy, he's got it. He's got it. How long have you been running the pod?
We are at about 2.5 years.
Nice.
We started October 2023.
And was it a brand new kind of like campaign, or was, because it kind of all pointed to one guy? Was there a character that guy was playing that was interesting to everybody?
No, they all made new characters, of course, for the podcast, but we have a long running world we've all been playing in together for a little over 2 decades now. Um, we do campaigns that last usually about 2 to 3 years, and then we stop. I spend about 4 or 5 months writing up a new world based on the old one with some advancements, and then we go from there. They really enjoyed my 7th iteration of the world that has a lot more corporate nonsense to deal with. Good old bad guys capitalism. And so they really enjoyed that. And so they wanted to play in that setting again, but from a ground level. When I ran the campaign the first time of the 7th iteration, think of it more of a Hellboy, Avengers, Men in Black. Like everybody worked for government agencies and they fought against, extraplanar threats and monsters. And this time they're all playing street level people that live in the world that has the ramifications of some giant monster just attacked a bunch of stuff, blah, blah, blah. And they're the repo guys that live there.
Awesome. And how many players are you gathering for this, or are currently at the table?
We have 5 players that are fairly consistent. We started with 4. One of them had to step away for a bit for some family stuff. So we brought in a new 4th, also a longtime player and friend. And then the person who stepped away, everything was resolved. They're ready to come back. And so we just said, heck yeah, let's just keep 5.
How is that transitional period of like losing somebody and putting someone in? It feels like it's easy if it's someone you know. But was there still kind of like how do I intro this person into this world? How does it make it fit? Or was it just very easy? You're all friends. It's fine.
Yeah, for us, it was pretty simple. His character had hit a very good story beat of being wanting to get more involved with an anti-corporate group that was looking into the corporation that created him as an android. And so we had a nice natural segue of he says, I'm going to go look into this and I will come back. They had a fun parting episode. And boom, he was able to very smoothly, story-wise, disappear. And the next player was able to join also similar story-wise. They built their backstory because they already listened to the podcast. So they were able to pick a company that players had dealt with before that they'd gotten fired from and had run into to know them.
Always love a good anti-cap story. It just feels right. I don't know why.
Yeah. No, we are all of us on the pod are pretty strong leftists. We try to keep as much modern politic discussion out of the podcast, but there is a very strong anti-cap and a-cap feel to almost everything.
And that just happens. I don't know how that happens. It just happened.
Crazy.
How did you start your journey within the TTRPG space?
Technically, I started playing for the first time around the year 2000. Basically, a friend showed up and was like, "Hey, man, I have this D&D 3.0 book. You want to play Dungeons and Dragons?" And I was like, "That sounds cool. I've never done that before." But funny enough, it kind of starts a little before that. When I was about 10 years earlier, little kid at a garage sale, and I saw a golden D20. I didn't know dice could come in more than 6 sides. So I asked the dude if I could buy the dice for $0.25. He said, "Screw it, you can just have it," and handed me an old 2nd edition Adventure Path, which, of course, with no rule book to go off of, there was a lot of really cool drawings, and I had a cool shaped dice. And I kind of just stored it away. And then, weirdly enough, 10 years later, when my friend showed up with that D&D book, I was like, wait a second, I have something for this. And went to my closet and found the dice. And it is still with me to this day.
Stop, you haven't lost it.
Nope, it is, this guy here. It is worn, the corners are all rounded.
I assume it would be a sphere.
Even got a tattoo for that.
Oh.
Stop! That's so
Yeah.
cute.
Little gold D20 with the magic card colors around it.
That's so cool.
Stop. Okay, so did you start with second edition? Like, did your friend also bring second
No,
edition,
they
or
brought
did you have?
third. Second was just
Okay.
came at that garage sale, but I never learned how to play it. I eventually did play second edition, and that was a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't play first, but a lot of my time learning TTRPGs was never playing them, but being big on my older aunt who had all like the Vampire Masquerade books, and they were so cool to look through until finally she's like, there's a game that goes with this. But her being quite a bit older is like, I'm not going to hang out with a 14-year-old kid and play Vampire the Masquerade. I'm going to go LARP with my friends, and I'm like, someday.
Yeah. See, Vampire the Masquerade has a lot of cool things in it that I've seen, and a lot of my friends are like, we should start a game. I feel like I've in the past like 4 years, 3 people have been like, we're gonna start a campaign. It'll be in a month, and then just nothing. Ghost town. One of these days.
Much like many
That's
TTRPGs.
just life, scheduling and like, oh yeah, we'll hang out.
I didn't realize Vampire the Masquerade was so.
Wow, call
Old?
me out. No, just kidding.
I am. I just didn't realize it had been around for a while because I hadn't heard about it until the last 2 years.
Yeah, you're the newbie in this. Actually, you and Jeph
I just didn't
talked
know.
about it, like, realized in the same time period, it seems like. 2020.
2020 was not 2 years ago,
but
Adrian.
like, in general. About this whole space
Yes.
that you're coming.
Well, yeah, okay, this whole space. Yes. This whole space, but like since I have been in this space, I did not hear about Vampire the Masquerade until like early last year. So maybe not even 2 years.
Within your
I don't know.
within your podcast, do you see yourself like adding anything to the game you're currently play? It's like you said, I think if I remember, it's like Pathfinder ish or
Yeah, it's Pathfinder First Edition. Yes, over the many years of playing, things get more and more homebrewed, as they tend to do, as GMs get more comfortable. And at this point, we are using the bones of the system, but for the most part, we custom build just about everything else. Feats are cool and all that, of course, but yeah, we backgrounds, locations, we have a lot of homebrew content to make the world feel the way we want it to.
yeah. I mean, you want to feel at home at your table. You don't want to feel like not obstructed, but like confined to the rules, especially when you start creating things that are like the rules do not foresee. Like, I mean, there's like Warforged, but like corporations are like companies, but like they're kind of different, and then you just like create your own thing, and you add this is +1 +2, and you kind of feel for your own world and what you want to do and see.
No, definitely. It's at some point, even though elves and dwarves and all that are cool, it's kind of fun to see what you can do without them and what stories you can tell without being confined to tropes that, though fun, are still tropes.
What's your favorite thing that you've homebrewed so far?
I would say I've really enjoyed creating backgrounds that every player can take, regardless of class, regardless of anything else, all based upon history of the previous campaigns as well, and of the cities in the world. So players can have unique mechanical benefits that fit a theme of the cities that they're from. So when they meet other players, when they have those fun moments of like, oh, hey, you're from where I'm from. Like, we both kind of got these abilities and blah, blah, blah. So I really enjoy when crunch and fluff can meet.
The Taco Supreme, not Taco Supreme. What am I? Crunchwrap Supreme. That's the word I was looking for. My dinner tonight.
You got food on the mind. Okay. Is there a moment?
Listen, but like,
I do have a Taco Bell sign right behind me, so
It's
it's subtle.
subliminal.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help that I just ate Taco Bell. Listen, it's Wednesday. I just ate Taco Bell. Okay, and I had a Baja Blast. But when we're talking about, you got to do both, right?
It's the last week of school.
It's the last week of school, y'all. I cannot emphasize this right now. Just I am very rarely holding on, anyways. But this particular recording session, I'm like,
Hey, no one's going to judge you for living, boss.
I can only remember how to say I want, right, in Spanish because of Taco Bell.
Chihuahua.
Oh my gosh. I was talking to one of my students today, and I was like, we were making a paper doll project, and like my brain was like stuck on quiero, and I was like, that's not the right word. And they were like, what are you trying to say, miss? And I said, do you like it? And they were like, te gusta? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, what was I saying? And they were like, quiero? And I was like, yo quiero Taco Bell. Shit, you're right. And so I'm so good at Spanish, y'all. I'm
How long
so
have
good
you
at
been
it.
living in Texas?
I didn't take Spanish in hold on. I didn't take Spanish in high school. I was too cool
you
for
took
it.
French.
Okay? I saw my life. I did take French. I saw my life differently than I do now.
Paris. I can't wait.
I'm going to Paris.
Dream man. Oh woman.
My menage a trois. I could sidebar from here, but we're not going to sidebar. Just like you to know. I'm showing my growth as a human by not going in the story that popped in my head, because this is a Dungeons or TTRPG podcast. And it's a something, and we just didn't. But I have taken up enough time that I should have just said the story. I'm so sorry. Hey Jeph, how you doing?
I'm pretty good, Alex.
Okay, so do all of your campaigns run in the same universe, in the same, I guess, universe?
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah, they're all sequels built on top of each other. So, first one was very classic: elves, dwarves. Everybody gets level 30. Let's fight some gods. And then second campaign, restart back over, deal with the fallout with new gods and elementals and things like that. And then kind of keep going until now it's sorcerers and cell phones.
Hell yeah. So really, we're just like replacing the gods with other gods, which like our normal existence here on Earth.
Yeah, gods got replaced with gods up until about like the 5th campaign, and then that's when corporations started taking over the roles of deities. And so that's where I started introducing kind of corporate clerics.
Please tell me more about this corporate cleric, please.
So it was just a background for a lot of the characters of, you can choose a corporation that kind of already pre-owns you, that you work for, and you follow up on the wills and wishes of that corporation. And then you get certain abilities and powers from it, right? It's kind of, I am a warlock of Walmart. I have a patron, which is Geico.
Okay, so hypothetically, right? If we're going and following this train of thought, if I am a hit person that works for somebody, then I could really be a cleric.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hit people are just now clerics.
There definitely can be. That would be more on the, you'd be on the PR side, right? Representing your hitman or your assassin corporation. But we do have, because it has turned into a capitalist hellscape, there are players get their, as they level up or choose stuff, it's, do you have a mercenary license? Do you have an assassin's license? Are you legally allowed to kill this person? Oh, yeah, I do have a contract. Here's the company I work for. And they're like, oh, okay, this is above board. And sure, you, of course, as a player, are required to pay for the funeral of any collateral damage. So you do a clean hit, you're fine. But if you decide to go cast Fireball in a small room, your character might go into debt to a corporation that's now going to sell your debt off to a different corporation, and your player might be owned by somebody else.
I hate this so much.
You asked for this.
I did. I know I did. But I hate. Do your players enjoy this, or do they hate it as much? Are they trying to get out of this? No, I didn't. Was it not a personal question, Adrian?
Nope.
It was a situation that their GM is putting them in.
I mean, as a human, I'm sure they don't think I'm the worst, but they do actually hate me. But yes, it is very fun to see them go, I know how the rules of this work, and I absolutely hate that I'm going to do this, but I'm going to involve a larger corporation to buy out my company to stop this other company from trying to take me over. So I guess we all work for the bad guy now because they're the ones who can afford us. And we've lost my family home in debt, and now this other company can't fight us. And the players were all like, are you sure you're going to do this? And they're like, what if our players died and none of us can afford a resurrection? So we are going to sell the company to get him back. And I don't think that's a bad idea because otherwise he's dead. And the players...
It's the student loan dilemma. I see it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to college and I'm going to use these student loans. I'm never going to pay them back. So it's really not going to affect me. But like at the end, my friend gets revived.
Mm-hmm.
So really, we're fine.
Yeah, sure.
Then they just have to deal with like the fun part of like, cool, you work for this corporation and now this corporation is doing some hostile takeover or something else. And I can see the taste in their mouth. I can see the bitter vileness as they have to go like, well, we've killed your guards and we've now broken in and we're taking over your company and welcome to the family.
Is it Olive Garden?
It's all Fridays.
It's all
It's Olive Garden.
Yeah, I definitely had a pizza party session for them. And they're like, you're a monster, Jeph. I'm like, that's probably true.
I have a level up.
Stop.
Here's a pizza party.
What if instead of the points that you got for leveling up, it was just pizza for a while? Like you didn't get the actual XP? You didn't actually get to level up? You just got pizza? How long do you think you could have that ruse going for your players?
Oh, I mean, if you mention the once per month play, you could probably get away with that for a fair amount. Like, hey, have a couple slices. That was a great session. We'll see you guys next month. And every time they show up, they're like, that's 2 boxes of pizza this time. Okay. Well, yeah, you guys are all
cool. Hell yeah.
Level milestone pizzas. Don't worry about it.
I would give it my players maybe if it's once a month, maybe 3 to 4 sessions before they're all right. This is nice, but like magic, cool things. I'm like, I'm gonna have to talk to HR about this.
It's not in the budget. Yeah, it's not in the budget. I just don't know if you get that magic item. I don't know if you get that leveling up. I mean, you're doing the bare minimum of your job, so why do you think you should move up?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think they definitely feel it when they show up and you're like, well, you're all level 3. And they're like, man, we're hungry. Where's the pizza? Oh, no, you're level 3. You're welcome.
Then it turns on you and they just want the pizza.
And then they'll go, I know what we're doing now and I hate you.
Oh, no.
How do I kill the dungeon master?
Pizza.
He keeps feeding me pizza.
I think I agree with your players. I both really love this idea and I really hate it all at the same time because it is very familiar and the difference is that the evil bad guys are evil and bad and they're fake. So corporate takeovers don't feel as big and ominous when you realize that the world around you is not actually as happy and fun and nice and equitable as it wants to be, as it should be.
Yeah, I feel like there's a very therapeutic side to beating up corporate stooges and committing light acts of corporate terrorism.
Which are all fake. They're all fake.
Course.
They're not a... Yeah.
Yeah. I would never advocate for anything like that in real life.
Not a real playbook.
No, we just do that in Minecraft, and Dungeons and Dragons. That's it. Never.
Yeah.
Else, no.
Sorry, I have a twitch on my eyebrows. My bad.
Actually. It's crazy.
Was there a moment during your campaign that you felt like you've kind of like picked up your stride in DMing?
So at this moment, Jeph is replaying every moment in his life, and then realizing how badass.
The whole thing, I've always been this good.
The whole time, I've been perfect the whole time. I've intricately woven all these stories together. Fuck you, Adrian. I'm amazing.
I mean, naturally, that's what the subtitles would say, but it's tough because there's the moments that I, as a GM, think I did really well and were really cool, and then there's the moments, of course, players go, "Oh my god, that session's memorable forever," and they still bring it up years later, and I'm like, "That's the one that got you." But yeah, I think if I had to say a recent one, because I've had these friends for so long, we're very good at riffing with each other. And so I really love the sessions where I don't actually have any notes. And the players are caring, they know where they're going to go, what they want to do. I just have to generate some NPCs in my head and we come up with dialogue as it goes. And it just flows, right? Like everybody seems to know their lines somehow, even though there's no lines, right? It's all made up, but everybody kind of hits their moment. And that's, I think, what it feels really good to be a GM, because the story is naturally moving at a pace that everyone's following along.
Yeah.
I love that. That's right. Really magical with, like, especially with friends you've had for such a long time and you're ready to play. Just prove to me that you're better. I mean, you have to top a lifelong love of the Fifth Element, so. And you cannot tell me. So here's what this also developed. You cannot tell me that Bruce Willis is not like a romantic lead. I do not believe you, because Bruce Willis is just a romantic lead in every movie.
Why would it? No. I'm just gonna say no.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really sorry, Alex. That is a hard sell.
That is.
I mean, but I guess that would depend on your backlog and backstory with Bruce Willis. I know the character only as the man who divorced Holly Gennaro. As a diehard, is where I learned Bruce Willis.
Tell me that's not a romance. Tell me that's not a romance, though.
Where
two people
they hang out at the very end and they talk at the beginning, like what?
I mean, he clearly wasn't a good partner, as we see through multiple movies of him.
Yeah,
slowly. It takes 5 movies for him to sober up, and by then he doesn't even admit to really having an ex-wife.
See, like is that like romance for you, Alex? Let's just look at you. Is this like falling in love, watching your partner go horribly drunk and then come back and reconcile and let things be? Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Much like many things in this podcast, I actually have seen like 3 Bruce Willis movies. Probably. I've seen The Sixth Sense, which is romantic. Okay.
The Sixth Sense?
Sure. What'd I say? The Sixth.
The Fifth Element or the Sixth? The
Sixth Sense.
You mean both? Okay.
The Sixth Sense. The Fifth Element. What else is Bruce Willis?
This is going in the description. I can't.
This
is your
romantic.
The thing you're pitching to me is
Is that Bruce Willis
warping my
is-
frontal cortex right now. Like, I'm having this weird massage feeling right here, and I'm like, what? Go ahead.
You mean
go,
the movie that the movie that we all believed is completely reasonable? His wife never spoke to him the entire film, and not that he was dead.
Yeah, that one.
That's the romantic one.
That's also romantic. Yeah, sure. Yes.
Ooh.
For the Pulp Fiction. Okay, Pulp Fiction. What else do I have? Those are the 3.
Okay, yeah.
There
Pulp
might be
Fiction,
one more.
Yeah. We'll concede on that. It seems like.
Armageddon? Maybe not romantic, but definitely.
That was a dad-daughter movie.
Definitely.
Yeah, dad daughter.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Paternal love.
Okay. He's just a very, like.
He has great capability for affection.
Yes. Which I think we could also agree is a romantic lead. The ability to be affectionate in all times, in all crises, in all events through your life.
Yeah, his life. Being dead, being alive and in a spaceship and dying there, all the deaths that happen.
Okay, first of all, he doesn't die in The Fifth Element, okay? He does not die.
I was talking about The Sixth Sense where he was dead.
And Armageddon.
And then in the Armageddon, like
The Armageddon?
goes
I
to
haven't
the
seen that.
asteroid. Armageddon? Where he goes to the asteroid?
Yes. He blows up the asteroid.
Doesn't he die there?
Well, yeah, because he has to. Because he sacrifices himself for the betterment of humanity, for whatever it's worth. I'm now looking at his. Okay, I've seen a couple more. I've seen a couple more.
Discography.
Yeah, I'm looking at Bruce Willis's discography. I've seen Moonrise Kingdom. I've seen The Expendables.
Yeah, tell me he's romantic in The Expendables right now.
Once again, if that's not a movie about love, tell me.
But you brought up the point.
Just saying that maybe romance isn't. Okay, this has gone on too long.
I'm gonna tie it back. Here we go.
How you gonna do it?
Does romance happen in your campaign?
Ooh.
It doesn't for me because I can't do that. I can't do that.
Adrian doesn't like people.
It has happened more as our friend group has gotten older, right? Kind of one of those like, yeah, why not? These are stories that we don't really get too far into. In fact, actually, just recorded a day off episode with one of our guests where he finally took the girl out on a date and got the kiss at the end.
I love that. How do you feel about romancing your friends?
I mean, we're all comfortable with each other and we all think it's funny. At this point, most of us are in our late 30s to 40s, so there's enough of like, we've known all each other's people they've dated and married or divorced or whatnot over years, so it's like, how far can you go without hitting any buttons?
Yeah. A parody, but not like a legitimate. I'm stabbing you right now.
Right.
A trope of your partners. There we go.
I'm gonna make believe somebody who's supportive and cares about you, and they're like, I love imagination.
It's good because otherwise their expectations would be lowered. But instead, you're like, this is the expectation you have to have for yourself, and you need to keep it there.
If that's not friendship,
I love you, buddy.
Yeah, but like that's what friendship should be, right?
Yeah. You should care about your friends. You should show them what they deserve within like just a friendship. If you want a partnership, this is like the bare minimum, right? Like
your friendship should be like Bruce Willis, affectionate.
If anything, just he's teaching us about friendship and love.
All right. We've come down from the romantic partner to he's just very empathetic and loving towards people, which is fine.
That's what I get. Yeah, I mean,
it's good. What inspiration do you put into your game?
A lot of, I'm a huge Dune nerd. So those echoes can be seen all throughout all my games. And the podcast, of course, what is it? I grew up with a lot of sci-fi, so Snow Crash definitely has a lot of influence. Blade Runner, both the new one and old one. And of course, absolutely loved it when Cyberpunk started to become big again. That was a really cool moment to see all that kind of stuff. But go back like, Ghost in the Shell, Akira, and then jumping to the more modern stuff we get now with like Cyberpunk Edge Runners and things like that.
Yes. That's, no. That stuff is very cool that it's coming back. Like, I remember, like, seeing it in the preview, like, I was only able to, like, I got to play Shadowrun the game on Xbox, and then Shadowrun, I saw the module, and I was just like, oh, this is cool, and I read it, and I'm like, I don't have anyone to play with, and then I just kind of let that go, and then I tried it a couple times, like, oh, this is more complicated, I gotta remember all these rules, but I love that, the theme and the understanding, because, like, they're like, in this future, and I'm like, yeah, the future. Corporations are big, and I'm like, oh.
Shadowrun, I always get an extra giggle out because it's set in Seattle, at least the core was. And so it's always fun to be like, the desolate wastelands of Redmond. And that's like one of these bougie, yuppie places. It's like, yeah, that is the place where the trolls and orcs would live after they knock out all the other people there. I like it.
I think I got really into it at one point where I have a Google Maps overlay for all the cool stuff that happens in Seattle within the game, and it's like, here's where this kind of faction lives, and here's where the Knights of Rant and all that stuff, and I'm just like, this is cool. I'll never know when I can use this.
There's a very fun actual play called Pink Fohawk that does a Shadowrun. It's a lot of fun to listen to, but my favorite part is, of course, whenever they have to say weird Seattle towns. Like, there's, I'm sure, towns and places around Houston or in the Texas area that you know how to say because you see them all the time. But the second somebody from out of town's like, what's that place? Nagadoches. You're like, well.
You're right. That is one.
Yeah, no, that's a good one that they get wrong.
That is.
And we have tons of those around here where they're like, there's too many consonants in a row there. And you're like, well, here's how we say it.
Of course. I mean, yeah. When they make that reference that, like, only you, because you're the local of the place they're referencing, it's like,
yeah,
you don't know what you're talking about. You're a tourist here. I was born and bred here. Do you set your... Oh, because... Okay, well, you said that it's in the same world. Do you have any kind of, like, references within the real world that is in this new corporate place? Is there, like, a Walmart, a Dunkin' Donuts? Like, do you have your faux versions of these things?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have lots of fun mockeries of corporations, right? Our resident fast food chain is Bah Hamburgers. We have, of course, the Omnimart, and their mascot is the Saving Squid. Because you have so much savings that its 8 arms are carrying all its grocery bags. The players right now work for Amon Advancements, the megacorp that kind of runs the city. There's multitudes of those sort of things. They have their local shop they go to get their guns and grenades and stuff, bombs for bros. We take a lot of that from kind of, the Fruit and Bean is their coffee place they go to, because there's, plenty of those around here. And yeah, pretty much anything that a player will eventually go, oh shoot, I kind of need to go to this place. I'm like, all right guys, let's come up with a goofy pun or something.
I think one of the things that was interesting to me that on your website, for the big campaign, that there's like a contacts of all the people and job listings of the things you've done. What's it called? That's like, as far as I understand of web design, that's a lot of work to put into this kind of thing on the side to, like, here is a whole bounty list of things you could do.
That's definitely my player Jesse, who plays Oswald. That was something that he wanted to do, and I'm like, cool. I know nothing about internet stuff.
Gotcha.
I made a Google page for one of our home games one time, so I could just put all the info in a spot they can just look at. And since then, more players have gotten into, I want to kind of make some stuff or do some things. I'm like, all right, go for it. That is all on you, buddy.
That's awesome. Them wanting to put their creativity into this thing, like on their own volition. It's not like, hey, you got to do this. It's like, I want to do this.
Yeah, no, like all the art's done by our player Sean, who plays fours, and that's all him wanting to just all right, let's make fun stuff.
If I were to want to kind of join into start listening to, is there a part in particular that would catch me, or should I start at the very beginning?
Well, let's see here. Of course, I'd love to say start at the beginning, but I had to learn how to audio edit, so I do apologize for the first season. It sounds a little great.
That's how we feel about ours.
But let's see here. I mean, what if I were to let's see here. I think episode 5 is a good one because it starts with a lot of good banter. Characters, the players themselves have kind of got a little bit more into the swing of things, and it starts off a side story that comes up later, as well as it starts to get into the corporate aspect a bit. Because it's all based on previous games, the third campaign dealt with houses. So there's a lot more medieval feel to it, but the houses could challenge other houses to try to take them over and blah, blah, blah. In this new corporate setting, they still have that, but corporations can do it, but they still have to follow these old antiquated laws that are based on gods that nobody follows anymore, that everybody still sticks to that. So the common way to declare your intent to fight another house was to deliver a wine basket. And if the person opened the wine, that means they accept the challenge. In that episode is where basically one of our players gets given hey, you're going to the party at this guy's house. Can you deliver this wine basket to him? And he's like, sure, sounds good. And gets in the car, and all the other players are like, hey man, why are you carrying a wine basket? He's like, this lady asked me to. And they're like, well, what's her name? Didn't get it. Well, what's it for? Don't know. And they're like, all right, let's go to this party.
Just delivering shit.
Yeah. And,
just being a nice guy.
Yeah, just a friendly dude. I think they were there to repo somebody's cybernetic parts. And he was spying on them from that person's yard, and that person was like, I'm not going to call the cops because you'll deliver this wine basket for me. He's like, sounds great. Love the deal. We'll do.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's a good one that's early on enough that it sets a very good tone and is fun to listen to.
Absolutely.
Just that one, though.
Because I know it.
None of the other ones. None of the other ones are good to listen to. Just that
Oh,
one.
God. Absolutely horrid.
There's no fun. It's all serious.
There's no shenanigans ever again.
Yeah, he get one shenanigan per season.
That was the last season of Game of Thrones. One shenanigan. That's what they did. They said, we're only going to do one shenanigan. And that's why it's like that.
I am very happy from everything I understood that I never watched the show. I was a person who read the books. Mm-hmm. And when I got to that 5th book, I was like, wow, hyper garbage. I'm kind of just done. And then the show came out, and I was like, wow, all those actors look great. Everybody looks like the characters, and I can guess what every character is. That's awesome. And then I guess they got to the end of it, and everyone was like, I hate this. I'm like, well, let me tell you, the books, he's never going to finish them. It's never going to happen.
It's okay. Sometimes you just
finish so many other books before he finishes that.
It's fine.
I mean, he just never will. Why would you? Everybody saw the end and they hated you. Like you have no impetus to try to be like, but let me tell the exact same story, but maybe a little better this time.
As a person who sometimes reads really bad fan fiction from the other point of view.
Sometimes reads in general.
That's
for sure about to go.
Voracious reader, Adrian.
I know.
But like, I don't mind a bad story. I don't. I just. I'll
Just
read,
make it sexy.
Just do it. No, I'm not always reading sex, Adrian. I don't know why I had to say your name like that.
Listen, all I know is about my friends that read fanfic. They read a lot of smut in between. Is all I know.
I mean, yeah, also, but like, I will read it, even if it started off bad. You know, just finish the thing. I don't know.
Listen, the guy will make bank on pre-orders alone.
Really? Okay, so here's what George R. R. Martin needs to do. He could
Okay.
kickstart it. Okay, he could just.
Whoa, he's not Brandon Sanderson.
That's true. But then he never has to finish it because really he doesn't have to fulfill it. Just like you did your best, buddy.
Just like with some of your other campaigns that you're still mad about.
I just one. That's only one, and we've already talked about it enough. It's fine. It's just one. Fuck you, Lisa.
I finally noticed it. This last Kickstarter is like, this they don't have to fulfill it. I'm like,
Yeah, that wording had to specifically go in because of that freaking campaign.
mm-hmm.
Just fine. I get it.
It's fine.
Yeah, we're totally fine. I mean, that's true. We okay. So when we have George R. R. Martin, we also do have Bryan Sanderson, who has this like, just finished books back to back.
Just doing the thing.
Just actually doing the thing. Mm-hmm.
Actually creating the book.
I mean, dude's out here finishing other people's series. Like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised he just
Wasn't
didn't kickstart. I'll just finish it, George.
Yeah. It wasn't enough for him to have his me. I was like, are you done with that? No, let me finish it for you.
Oh man.
What do you see for the future of Big Campaign Pod?
I don't know. It's tough, right? I just like telling silly stories with my friends. I would love to get to a place where the story naturally ends in a cool way, and then find through either audience or friends, figure out what another story to tell that would be fun to do. We've had a lot of guests on from a lot of different podcasts, and we've definitely started and told some fun stories there. I wouldn't mind just doing shorter runs, right? Like 5 or 6 episode runs with people, but I do like long trawling narratives that never seem to end, hence the Dune fan. But yeah, it's become a hobby. It's become a hobby I enjoy doing. So I kind of like just geeking out about this stuff.
But that's always good to have too. Like, I think there has been a trend of like we need to be doing shorter stuff so we can get more content and more contact. And I know we've talked to other creators that like have so many stories to tell. But I think there's like there's joy in that there's space for both. You can continue to create your longer campaigns and really get deep into the history and the richness of the universe that you've created, but there's also like you play the shorter games. So yeah, I don't know what I was going with that. I'm so sorry.
No, I mean I'd say there's a reasonable spot, right, for both, right? You can have your Game of Thrones if you want 8 seasons and hundreds of episodes. Awesome, that's great if that's what you're into. But it's also very cool to get something. Your Cowboy Bebop, right? 24 episodes.
Yeah.
The story's done.
Yeah.
There'll never be more, and you can just enjoy it. Or your Cyberpunk Edge Runners. There's just 8 episodes, and you're done. And it's cool to see things finish where they actually should be, because you can't always come back. You can always do different stories. What you don't want to get stuck on is like the Star Wars problem, right? Where you're infinite episodes, infinite things deep, and I still can't get rid of Skywalkers. And I just don't care what any of them do ever again. Because it's just this one family that rules all of history and time in that world.
Always a Skywalker.
Hey, Ray, what's your last name? Skywalker? Nobody's ever asked Chewbacca's last name. Why is that a thing? Anyways.
Come on. He's just a side character. Guys lived through most of this, all of everything that's happened. You know.
He lived through the entire Star War.
Yeah, exactly. That one singular
He
Star
is
War.
the Star War.
Star War was Chewbacca all along.
Oh no.
Why isn't there any Star Warriors? Anyways, that could be a faction. Anyways, two on the nose, maybe. I don't know.
The Star Warriors. It's actually their NBA team.
All right. Alex, any last questions?
We're not already there. We're already there.
No.
We are.
No,
Close.
but I think I have one more.
Ooh, what's your question? I want to hear your question.
No, I wanted your question first before I had mine.
I don't have a question.
You don't have one. Okay.
I've never
That's
had a
fine.
question in my life.
Is there you've had a bunch of guests? Is there like somebody that you would like love to have on the pod?
Your mom.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
sorry.
She wouldn't know what to do. She's like, "What's this?"
I mean, I think it would be super fun to run a session with Robert Evans, the host of the Behind the Bastards podcast. And I think that would be awesome.
You heard it here first. Let's get him.
or maybe not.
Or you're right.
We've
that was
heard
really
it here
big.
first.
It's the first time I've heard about it, so
So actually, just all subjectively, it is true. And anyone else's perception of time and space doesn't really matter.
It's all my simulation, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you close your eyes, everything stops existing.
Yeah, everything freezes. I wish it did. That'd be so nice right now. I'm so not lying.
Are you talking about having to Saved by the Bell power?
What do you... Okay, hold on. I'm not...
Like the guy from Saved by the Bell, right? Like he just stops time to turn to the camera and talk.
Does that stop time?
I mean, he seems to interact with other characters while time is stopped.
That'd be really nice. No, I think that would be... Actually, I lied. I think that'd be a terrible existence, because then that then puts into question, like, my own mortality, right? If I'm able to stop time because I interact with the camera, how long? How old am I? How long do I live? So everyone else is like around me aging, and I seem to... No. Everybody around me is not aging, and I'm aging faster? Is that what it is? I'm aging faster, right? Because I'm stopping time. I'm still living through my own time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, long-term effects make sense, right?
Right.
As you be slowly displaced further and further from everybody else.
Okay. So how old is...
You have control.
What's his name? Zach, right?
Isn't that the guy, main character from Saved by the Bell? I don't know. Is like the blonde guy.
That's the blonde guy. Yeah.
I just remember that was the thing he did.
So do you think he's older? Do you think, like...
Like in real life?
In the Saved by the Bell
He is
universe.
older.
In the Saved by the Bell universe, does he just age faster? Seem to age faster?
I imagine he'd have to. I bet by the end of the season, he could probably pull off being able to buy beer without getting carded. Because they're all in high
Okay,
school.
but what if that's the character? Like, what if then... How do we write that into being a character?
Oh.
It's a warlock, right?
I don't know. Durnamancy or whatever, wizard.
I mean, if you're in
I think it'd be a bad guy. I think it'd be play better as a bad guy, where you're about to fight them and they turn towards the fourth wall as your DM looks at you. So you're guessing you should stop me, but you can't. You're all frozen in time. I do this. Well, currently I'm talking to the camera. y'all.
Okay. So if that's the case, it could be a wizard, right?
Or god, or demon, something.
No, the god and demon, right? Then that becomes, we get out of the mortality route. We need somebody
Yeah.
who is inherently still immortal.
Well, so, what is it? First edition haste used to cost a year of your life every time you used it.
Okay.
Whoa.
And so that, it works really well for a BBEG, right? You can have the person who the players run into very early on, and then later run into the middle-aged man who's been using time stops this whole time to try to stop things, but you can only get so far during that time stop, right? You can only accomplish so much. Like, you can't use the elevator. You can't drive a car during time stop kind of thing, right? And so you have a bad guy who's functionally frustrated with the players for not stopping more tragedies or things that, how many things they've had to stop themselves, and now they've lost out on all of their life.
That becomes a natural villain. Then I am one person upset about how much you have failed. And then
how much they've sacrificed versus you've sacrificed.
Right. I'm trying to fix, I am trying to fix your mistakes. And now I've sacrificed how many years of my life?
You could a fun take on the chosen one thing, right? None of the players are, and this bad guy has stopped time to prevent them from getting this thing as they keep getting older because they're not the people who are supposed to get the MacGuffin. And so eventually this old man dies trying to hide the magic item the players will eventually get that they use to accidentally destroy the world or something.
See, this guy has always been a genius.
See, this is the best GM I've ever seen. Sorry, Jeph.
No.
Congratulations.
If you do want a fun one, I did actually pull a time travel one on my players, where I got to start off the time travel with a false Hydra. You've seen that monster. And then I had some new players come that had never been in a big campaign before. And I was like, cool, how can I make this really fun and weird for them? And so I was like, I know what I'll do. I'm going to do time travel, and I'm going to have them go into every campaign I've ever done at different points so that the experienced players will get a fun moment of jumping to different games they've already played and they know the history. And the new players get to see all through time of the game. And one of the players, and all of this was done because in the 5th campaign, one of the players lost their son to some time towers that have been in all of the campaigns. And so I was able to tie all of that back around to have them basically install his lost son from the alternate timeline as the god of time for the current game. It was a blast.
This is one of the greatest GMs we've ever talked to.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Why? Why are we even talking? Why didn't we not just let Jeph just stream of conscious go through all these?
Hey,
write that down.
If you guys want to be guest players, you're always welcome.
We would love.
If you say less.
I would love. I'm not going to speak
say
for
less.
Alex.
No,
Alex
no.
needs to.
Let me get through the post Gen Con. Let me get through.
Yeah. No, little Pathfinder 1E. A lot of crazy rules and weird stuff in there, but more than always happy to have fun guests to play and join some big campaign.
Hell yeah.
And the big campaign keeps getting bigger.
That is the whole reason it was named that, was because we had the big campaign, which is when everybody can meet. We played the big campaign. If somebody was missing, somebody else would start their own game. It did mean that eventually we did have like one campaign that we had 18 players in 3 different groups that coordinated with, and I think that's the most we ever had playing at one time.
That's tough.
18
Most
players?
I've done is 10. Would never do it again.
Oh yeah, it was great. Had a whole Mechanus invading planar god thing. 3 of the, was it? One group was on the material plane dealing with Mechanus. Another group was trying to rescue the 4 horsemen so they could go destroy the plane of law. And the other group was trying to get to the end of the universe to ask basically the wall that blocks the far realm to help them destroy the god that is backing Mechanus to destroy their plane.
She was too stunned to speak.
Yeah.
And now my players are fighting over if they can afford tacos. You know, it's all about how you tell stories.
Oh, no.
Crunchwrap Supreme! That's called a callback. All right, Jeph, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find Big Campaign Pod on any of your podcatchers. We're on Twitter, Threads, Instagram. We have a Discord. We're always down to have people come in and, you know, make stupid jokes and laugh at dumb stuff with us. Let's see here. Yeah, that should be all the places you can find us.
Hell yeah. Thank you, dear listener, for joining us on another episode. You can find us wherever pods are cast, so be sure to rate, subscribe, tell us to your friends, your neighbor, your Taco Bell barista. So sorry.
Your taco artist.
Your taco artist.
Ooh,
I'm just here to make myself laugh. You can also find us on all social medias at Dungeon and Degrees, and you can help support us at patreon.com/Dungeon and Degree. We will be up at Gen Con in the end of July, August. So come say hello if you see us. We have a panel, so come join us on our panel.
What about the speed? Quote unquote?
I am still waiting to hear back from the. I'm waiting to hear back. I changed the date and the time like they asked me to, and now I've just been waiting patiently. So, I'm not patient.
Excited freighting. Okay, cool.
I just need you to give me feedback. What do I need to do? I will do the thing.
Right.
But,
I also emailed and I got nothing back yet. All right.
They're very
not
busy
about your
people,
thing,
I'm
about
sure.
something else.
I'm sure they just opened up. So opened up those wish lists, and I'm sure people are having a great time.
Well, thank you so much for listening. My name's Adrian.
And I'm Alex.
And I'm Jeph.
Go have some fun.